If you look at Amazon or Google or Facebook or Apple, any of these,
they've made themselves many billionaires inside those companies.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly, because of the equity. Well, and in India, people think, oh, if I give equity, I will lose control. It is not so.
So you're telling me that the fact that we lag behind in exports is somewhere linked to this mindset?
Yes.
Why does India lag behind a lot of countries? Not just forget about the countries of similar size, which is China, we're far behind, but even smaller countries in exports.
See, Nikhil, there is a very overarching macro aspect first we have to understand. It is called competitiveness. I'm a student of competitiveness. How I define competitiveness? There are 4 factors. Efficiently create goods and services which meet global market demand, leading to rising living standard for everybody in the society, and which is sustainable into the future. First 2 is economics, next 2 is social. Until and unless the companies in India, particularly small medium enterprise and anywhere in the world, do not implement these 4 principles of competitiveness, it is going to be difficult to grow. And growth comes from international business. Now, efficiently create goods and services means use technology, right technology in your manufacturing or services, and do innovation. Most important thing is innovation. Be different than the crowd, and which meets global market demand. So here is where our today's talk is so relevant, that whatever you do, whether manufacturing, service, sector or trading, your product or service should be of a global scale. That is second criteria. Third is which leads to rising living standard for everybody in the society. In India, we have family-run businesses. Families become rich when business grows. But do the people who made that company grow become rich as well? They do not in most of the cases, except IT, where they get equity. Why we do not have equity model in manufacturing? Now, so we have to make sure, and if you look at Amazon or Google or Facebook or Apple, any of these,
they've made themselves many billionaires inside those companies.
Right, yeah. Exactly, because of the equity. Well, and in India, people think, oh, if I give equity, I will lose control. It is not so.
So you're telling me that the fact that we lag behind in exports is somewhere linked to this mindset?
Yes. And the 4th component, which is sustainable into the future. So sustainability today is ESG is what, there are so many big importers in the world like Walmart or JCPenney and many others who have made ESG audit as a compulsory factor to decide their vendors. So, which is sustainable into the future. So, if I'm in textile, I'm making this t-shirt, whether the dyes I'm using are vegetable dyes, that will make me sustainable and eco-friendly. Now, these 4 elements, every business can implement in their, if you have this understanding. So, this is and when I say competitiveness, I always say that export is the benchmark of competitiveness.
Okay.
Because why a lot of people tell me, oh, why are you asking small, medium enterprises, for example, in India to export? India is such a big market. Whole world wants to sell to India. Indian SMEs are not even selling to 5 states of India. Let them first sell in India, then tell them to export. My logic to them is very simple. I say, number 1, when a company starts exporting, it understands the best practices of their product and business in the world. And when they bring those best practices to their Indian business will improve. Number 1. So, competitiveness is the benchmark of export, because when I get an export order as a small company or a medium company, it means I beat somebody in India to that order. It means I beat somebody in China or somebody in the world. Otherwise, I would not have got that business. So, it means I am competitive globally. It is not necessary to only be competitive in your country. You have to be competitive globally.
So let's talk about this a little bit more. You specifically mentioned SMEs. You come across a lot of SMEs. Say you see 100 SMEs in India. तो उसमें कितने SMEs में आपने देखा है कि there is focus on competitiveness and
very less. I will say 10%.
Wow.
And I will say all 10% of them are exporting.
Right.
I have all data.
Right.
So first of all, why? Now there is a reason to it. Our SMEs are smart. They are. I don't think there is a better entrepreneurship quality in any country in the world other than India.
Okay.
With all the hardships which we face, our entrepreneurs are successful. Right? So, in spite of all those difficulties, when they are successful in India, why are they not able to export? The reason is and this is where my original formula of competitiveness comes in. Because they are familiar in business, they control everything, and therefore they handle operations, and they get busy into operations. An entrepreneur, in my understanding, is not supposed to do operations. An entrepreneur is supposed to grow business. I always use this statement: don't run your business, grow your business. You can do either one of the two. If you run, it won't grow. If you want to grow, don't run. Then who will run? Delegate authority. People say if I delegate authority, people are misusing it. No, they are not misusing authority. They are misusing lack of systems in your company. So implement systems, right? So that is the reason they are not able to export, because they want to do everything themselves, which cannot happen. So you have to have a people in your company whom you give a small equity, 5%, that becomes their ownership.
Correct.
Why would a smart person leave a company? See, most of the youngsters today wants to work with big companies. They don't want to work with small company. But if you tell the same youngster, I am giving you 5% equity, they become owner of the company.
Absolutely.
And it is their company. It's not a job. They will work.
Yeah.
So that model is missing.
Interesting. This is a very surprising. We'll look at some other, some other aspects which have contributed to this. But you're starting from a point where you're like, the simple fact of structuring a company is itself missing.
Absolutely.
Correctly structuring the company.
True. From day one.
And that influences your ability to probably export.
Yes. Today also Jeff Bezos, second richest man in the world, he posts in his social media that for the first 4 years, I was working from a 20 by 20 room with my small team. He is posting. He started small. He had no capital. Our second richest man of the world, delegation of authority, equity in this company to smart people. He said, I want this guy to work with me for 25 years. Why will anybody work? He gave equity because it's their company.
Yeah,
now it's their company.
That guy is also a billionaire, I'm sure.
Yes, of course.